Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Swordhaven with me, Dawn. Let's read. The Heavenly Keys. This little book lists the dragon cult's most important edicts. Thou shalt honor the dragon. Thou shalt honor the lesser gods. Thou shalt honor all of the prophets and all of the saints. Thou shalt honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not kill, with an asterisk, except in circumstances of self-defense, combat and warfare, and carrying out lawful executions. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods and chattels. Thou shalt not indulge in gluttony. Thou shalt not give thyself up to vainglory. Thou shalt not spread falsehoods. Thou shalt not succumb to thy wrath. Observe these edicts, and when thy time comes to stand before the dragon, he shall judge thee worthy to enter the blissful hills of Shimei. Violate these edicts, and thou shalt be condemned to the abyss, where Chert and his servants will torture and punish thee, till thou art reborn in a new body. Mock the dragon's mercy by deliberately and repeatedly breaking his holy edicts, and thou shalt forever be reborn as a lower creature, by humanity irrevocably lost, along with any chance to join him in the heavenly hills. The Dark Triad. This book contains information about 3 evil demon gods, Vex, Velns, and Chert. Below you shall find short descriptions of the 3 evils: demon gods, friends of chaos and misdeeds, Vex, Velns, and Chert. Be warned, gentle reader, that their vile cults still lurk in the shadows of hidden temples and the depths of fetid jungles, even within the Empire's borders. Remain vigilant, for the Dark Triad and the demonic minions are ever on the hunt for new souls. And since you have only one, safeguard it from falling into their terrible claws. Vex, great manipulator and patron lord of chaos monsters. He's said to have deer's horns, cat's eyes, and 2 tongues, both for lying. One half of his face is bearded, the other clean-shaven. Vex domains are ancient ruins and abandoned towers. His token animal is the fox. Velns, the champion of wicked violence, adultery, and selfishness. He is described as an unnaturally hirsute man with spiraling ram's horns, a cow's tail, and webbed fingers. Veln's domains are marshy lowlands and sandstone caves. His token animals are the black auroch and the red bog rooster. Chert, known to be vain and prideful, described as a heavily built man with the eyes and horns of a goat, a pig's snout, and long black talons. Chert domain is the Abyss, the underground realm where sinners' souls are condemned to endure all manner of punishments while awaiting rebirth. His token animals are the giant spider and the toad. Barbarian names. This book describes the naming conventions of the barbarian tribes. A few in the civilized world know that the barbarians of Nova Drakonia, or the Slurium as they call themselves, have not 1, not 2, but 3 given names. There is the known name that describes the barbarian's occupation, place of living, social status, some aspect of their personality or physique, etc. For men, such names usually end with N, and for womenfolk, Ni. Examples: a Gizanargan, man of light; Mendin, or Mendine, man like a mountain or mountain man; a Brusquin, or Brusqueen, approximately disappointed man; a Denoni, mistress of good deeds; a Han Diurni, woman from big water or woman big as water; Audi Hartuni, woman who takes horses. Following is the clan's name, which is mostly used on social occasions and during ceremonies. The second name always starts with C and ends with Ak, and is shared between men and women of that clan. Examples: C. Kaspada or Diba Ak from the Iron Sword clan; C. Dalzik Zortza Ak from the Masters of 8 Winds clan; C. Begi Koldar Esku Sarda Ak from the Cowardly Eyes Brave Hands clan. The third name, customarily given by the tribe's shaman, is a closely guarded secret, known only to the name's holder, their parents, and the shaman. This name is in a different language, which is only fully understood by a select group of spiritual leaders. Most barbarians know their own third name, and at most, few words of this other tongue. Though it's not forbidden to learn the language, the teacher will only begin the education after the student has spent 10 years as their servant. It is important to note that Slurium merchants and barbarians living in the civilized parts of Nova Drakonia often use abridged versions of their tribal monikers to make them more appealing to the Outlander's ear. Example: Gaizo, original Gaizo Nargun, or Mendin, original Mendine, Bruskin, or Bruskin I guess, Brusqueen, Donna, be Denoni, Yonda, Handy Ernie, and Aldi Hartuni. The Godly Court. The small text contains short descriptions of the dragon's closest divine confidants. And note that this list covers only the most important lesser gods. For information about all the deities in our blessed pantheon, please reference the Divine Host Encyclopedia, Volume 1 through 30, published by the Royal Print House of Marbleheim. Where more than one name applies to the same deity, it will be included in parentheses, next to its denomination in Common Cudonian. Lesser in regard to the dragon, of course. A Dives Widar, Devo Pratru, a Diuve Patir, Yazi Tevs, a Triosfoder, and CS Dago? I'm butchering a lot of these, I'm sure. The chief god before the rise of the dragon cult. It is now widely believed that this deity was either an aspect of the dragon, or the dragon's avatar. Dives Widar's priests, the Waidelotts, began serving the dragon after the conversion. Sol or Saula, Sola, Isola, Sohil, and Celia. The sun goddess and protectress of mothers, she stands at the right hand of the dragon in heaven. Clad in all dazzling gold, Sala crosses the sky in a cart pulled by two divine foals. Amenyo, Menes, Mas, Mahas, Masek, and Loon. Freya, in Norse mythology, is pulled by two cats and a chariot. It was actually why I named my dog Freya. One of the reasons. I had two cats before I got my dog, and it just made sense. The moon god. He stands at the left hand of the dragon in heaven. A divinely beautiful man in silver armor and a cloak woven with stars, mounted upon a white horse. Ugin, Agni, Her, and Rugi. God of thunder, fire, smithing, and weaponry. He stands at the foot of the dragon's throne. Often described as a mighty, gray-haired man on a chariot, with a sword and lightning bolt in hand. His symbol is the anvil. Omra, or Amrana, goddess of earth, cattle, medicine, and commerce. She stands on the top step of the stairs, leading to the dragon's throne. Omra is portrayed in a checkered gown, and her symbol is a snake. Loima, Lama, Lasmi, or Verda, goddess of fate and protectress of pregnant women. Alongside her little sisters Katra and Dola, she stands on the second step to the dragon's throne. Loima is pictured sitting in a long silk dress, weaving the webs of fate. Her symbol is a spindle. Oster, or Hester, Poledivo, Vaus, and Hekvos, or Hekvos. Patron god of horses and fertility, he stands on the third and lowest step before the dragon's throne. He is said to be a powerful, hardy man who sits upon a magnificent stallion, completely naked. His holy symbol is a wooden stick. And Yamar, or Yam, god of the sea and maritime trade. He stands before the stairs leading to the dragon's throne. Described as a black-bearded man in a long robe of pristine azure, his holy symbol is a purple shell. Alright, Barbarian Fables, The Calf. This little book was printed in Swordhaven and tells a native folktale. This Nova Draconian barbarian Slurium fable was recorded, translated, and adapted by Father Herkus of Clamreach. There once lived a lonely woman named Denoni. One winter her herd was attacked by direwolves, the largest pack that's ever been seen or ever will be. They slaughtered all old and young, fat and thin. The only thing Denoni was able to save was one sickly calf, so she barricaded the animal and herself in her hut where it was safe. On the following full moon, the direwolves came scratching at Denoni's door. "Give us the calf now, for we are peckish," they ordered. "Why? This calf is sickly," she replied. "Give me time to nurse it back to health first, then you can feast on it." The direwolves agreed, and Denoni took good care of the little calf and brought it back to health. I come next moon, the direwolves returned. Give us the calf now, for we hunger, they demanded. The calf is feeling much better, she replied. But the poor thing is still just skin and bones. Give me time to fatten it up first, then you can feast on it. The direwolves reluctantly agreed, so Danone fed her calf as much as it would eat, and it grew fat. On the last moon of winter, the direwolf slunk again to her door, more quietly this time. Give us the calf now, or we will starve, they begged. But of course, she replied, throwing open the door. So I promised, and so it shall be. And out of her hut rushed the biggest, strongest bull there ever was or ever will be. With hooves he trampled, and with horns he gored. And the handful of direwolves who escaped, tails between their legs, troubled Danone no more. The moral of this story, endurance is key. Alright, Barbarian Fables, The Raven. This little book was printed in Swordhaven and tells a native folktale. This Nova Draconian barbarian Slurium fable was recorded, translated, and adapted by Father Herkus of Clamreach. There once was a man named Erdine, who in the midst of a drunken boast challenged Mendine the Chosen to a fight the next morning. The spectators had no doubt about the outcome. Erdine was weak, frail, scrawny, while Mendine's arms were hard as rock, his legs were like tree trunks. Most of all, his was an unshakable warrior spirit. Verily I shall slay this boy come morning, laughed Mendine, while his challenger wept, and cast about for some way to recall his foolish boast. But alas, there was none. Thankfully, Erdine's stepmother, Oroyne, was a sorceress. That night she transformed into a she-raven, flew into Mendine's room, and upon his bedpost made her perch. First she spoke to the sleepy Mendine's weapon arm, whispering, Pride of the tribe thou art, mightily thewed arm. When you're raised against my ill-begotten stepchild, shall tremble with palsy, an unseen weight will fill thine palm and drag thee down. Then Oroyne addressed the sleeping Mendine's legs. Thick as the trunk of a 50-year oak thou art thee, but when my foolish stepchild stands in the way of thine trampling, soft as porch you shall become. Every step thou takes shall be as that of an old drunkard at sea in a mighty storm. Oh, it shall be so. Lastly, she spoke to Mendine's warrior spirit, and for the first time acquainted it with doubt, failure, and the fear of death. When her dark words were done, she flew away, and lo, come morning, Mendine's arms did shiver and hang limp as if palsied. His legs gave out as if retreating from a days-long battle, and a cowardly scream escaped his cracked lips. Without a single blow landed, Erdine was proclaimed the victor. The moral of this story, words have power. Barbarian Fables, The Snake, which said the description is the same as the other two. This Nova Draconian barbarian Slurium fable was recorded, translated, and adapted by Father Herkus of Clamreach. There once was a brave lad named Salmonoid, who promised to recover a plum of healing for his ailing father. So he packed his travel bag and ventured out into the wilderness. Unflaggingly he trudged across peat bogs, through forests, and over mountains. Many a beast he slew in his quest, and many a foe. When he reached the sacred grove, he discovered but a single plum of healing hanging from an otherwise barren branch. Weary and wounded from his many battles, he hadn't even the strength to pluck it, and fell asleep at once. Come nightfall, a crafty snake slid out of Salmonoid's travel bag, in which dark space it had abided since the day the lad prepared for his arduous journey. Up the half-dead tree the viper did crawl, and around the branch where the plum of healing grew it did coil. No bog did I trudge through, no beast or foe have I slain, no injury have I suffered, yet mine is the prize, said the crafty viper, and swallowed the plum of healing whole. The moral of this story, stealth is wealth.
Hark, you must rally your party. Hark, you must rally your party.
Oh, there's mine in here. He's camouflaged. Danis. This young, round-backed individual is writing something on a wax tablet. He slowly raises his eyes and licks his lips before chuntering. A greeting, stranger. Name's Danis, apprentice of Father Herkus, the Waidelott of this village. May I be of assistance? Have you seen anyone suspicious? You know, someone who doesn't belong. Well, I've seen you, chatting with the gate guard, strolling around, probably talking up all the locals. Nobody in recent memory has belonged here less than you do. But I doubt that's what you're hoping to hear, so my answer is simply, nay. I'll take a peek at his tablet. What are you writing? Oh, this? I'm just taking inventory, nothing special. Father Herkus prefers the temple's holdings to be thoroughly organized. He shows you the beeswax smeared wooden tablet, covered in barely legible symbols. The script is extremely tiny, probably to save on tablets. I read the tablet. While much of the script is illegible, you manage to suss out a few lines. And it's nothing too exciting. Mostly tallies of grain bushels, dried fish, and other village goods. This place must be the temple's tithe storehouse. Just out of curiosity, do you also collect gold? Like dinars, family heirlooms, and so on? Nay, we don't. 1/10 of the harvest is more than enough. Gotcha. You seem to be thorough. I try to be diligent in my duties. So how's your work treating you? Shrugs. Someone has to do it. Besides, lets me practice my shorthand writing. How does that teach you to be a Waidelott? Any Waidelott worth his salt is required to write a lot, as well as keep a strict tally of what their temple has and what, if anything, it's lacking. People need us to lead by example. Being tardy, unkempt, disorganized, these are the qualities of a second-rate priest. And who needs that? I need any help. I'm good at numbers and reckoning. Thanks for the offer, but this is my chore and completing it is part of my education. Whispers to himself. That, I highly doubt you have the necessary knowledge. Alright, punk. Just counting. I got it. Alright, enough about that. Hi, I'm listening. Can I ask a few questions? I'm sorry. We do this some other time. I'm busy with my chores at the moment. In that case, I shall take my leave. Danis returns to his work. Danis nods to you, but doesn't look up from his barely legible scribbles. I? Yeah, I'm out of here. Have fun counting, nerd. Father Herkus. You're met by a thin clergyman in traditional Waidelott garb. Blessings of the dragon upon thee, child. I am Father Herkus. Hath thy soul brought thee here in search of direction? Do you know what the deal is with Durain, this deity the locals worship? Well, it's exactly as thou described, a deity. More specifically, a fish god. After all, Durain literally translates to master of fishes from the native Slurium tongue. The people inhabiting these shores have always worshipped him, no matter their origin. But what is the dragon cult's stance on this practice? Even during the age of holy wars, when religious fervor was at an all-time high, the cult's attitude toward different gods and spirits was that of adoption rather than condemnation. After all, most divine manifestations are considered to be sparks of the dragonfire. Do you take part in Durain's veneration? My predecessor, the old Waidelott, did. I prefer to observe from a distance, respecting the local customs, while also reminding my flock to honor the dragon above any god, which they naturally do. But what do you know about the barbarian rites? The Slarium revere supernatural entities they call Sehinquam. Now, these beings are believed to inhabit all things, including forces of nature and different prominent sites, caves, groves, lakes, etc. The Sehinquam are worshipped at household fanes and aforesaid sacred places. The other rituals are performed by shamans, who organize sacrifices to whatever spirit is enshrined at that location. Do you study the natives of Nova Drakonia? Forsooth, most locals dislike the Slarium, probably because of all the wars. I find them a quite fascinating subject. Ah, a scholar of barbarians, I see. To a certain extent, yes. Why? You wish to learn more about them? Yeah, why not? A commendable attitude. After all, ignorance is blissful only to the ignorant. You might want to visit the book emporium in Swordhaven's Old Quarter. There lies a copy of Historia Barbarica by Shangol the Mad. As if anticipating your skepticism, he quickly adds, a bit unorthodox, I admit, but still an interesting read about this often overlooked subject. What can you tell me about Shangol the Mad? Shangol the Mad Prophet, to be exact. He was an astronomer who lived in Swordhaven during the Third Barbarian War, around 50 years ago. Before going insane, Shangol mostly wrote treatises about stellar constellations, but also on ancient ruins, magical artifacts, and Slarium tribes. The magical artifacts might come into play. We do have that amulet we're trying to find out about. How did he go mad? From what I've read, he started to lose his mind after witnessing the famous comet of 851. Looks up. In the Caliganus night sky over the Gulf of Swordhaven. How strange. Verily, most of Shangol's contemporaries reckon the comet to be a foretoken of doom. But only our ill-starred astronomer feverishly studied it for his last few years, before departing this life. Pauses. In quite a mysterious fashion. Mysterious fashion. Shakes his head. Child, I beg thee to understand. It's all idle bavardage. Dragon's Herald, Prophet Shershet, wisely forbade us from spreading such frivolous falsities. Look at it as a myth or folktale, Father. You said yourself that Shangol lived quite a few years ago. There's no harm in talking about him. Enough. As a matter of fact, we're talking about barbarian culture, not Shangol. You're right. Forget I ever asked. Smiles and nods. Now then, I believe we were talking about barbarian culture. Are there other books about the barbarians? Of course, but ironically most of them are printed and sold in different lands. I see. Well, thanks for the advice. My pleasure, child. Thinks it over briefly. Actually, I might have a little something to aid thee further. The Waidelott walks away with a spring in his step, returning less than a minute later with a thin hardback. My first Slarium phrasebook, to help me learn the basics of their tongue. Hopefully, will help thee as well. I want to confess my sins. Father Herkus slaps his sweaty palm on your forehead, and closes his eyes, prepared to listen. I have stolen for thrills and for profit. Well, as long as you've repented your sneak thief ways, and some of that unfairly obtained loot made its way into the donation box. On the other hand, no. Stay as far away from the donation box as you can. That was all. I'm ready to talk about something else. I'm listening. I want to make a wish to the higher powers. Of course, child. I must ask you to make the customary sacrifice of 5 dinars. I pay the priest. After taking the gold, Father Herkus starts rummaging under the altar. He returns to you with a small wooden plaque, a file of diluted squid ink, and a calligraphy brush. Art thou skilled in the art of writing? If not, I can help for a tiny donation of just 7 dinars. Inspect the wishing plaque first. It's a rectangular tablet made from pine, with a simple drawing of a horse on one side. The other side is meant for writing just about any wish, as long as it's not too grandiose and doesn't harm others. What do you think I am? Give me that brush. In that case, inscribe your request on the plaque, as tradition dictates. You take the wooden tablet and brush in hand. Now the question is what to ask for. The gods are fickle, so it'd be wise to seek something relatively simple. Alright, courage. Grant your wish with a flourish, return the tablet to Father Herkus. I'll burn it during the year-end Dragonfire ritual. Hopefully the celestial powers will pay heed to thy request. But remember, divines first and foremost help those who help themselves. I'll show him Anfor's amulet. What can you tell me about this trinket, Father? Oh my, it looks quite magical. But is it good magic or evil? I don't rightly know. Be very careful with this talisman, lest thee accidentally forfeit thine soul. Have you seen anything strange in the village lately? In the village? No. Thanks. No, I don't believe I have. If this is about the Slurian barbarians camping in the forest, our headman and I met with them and heard their grievances. There's no one in Clamreach who would provoke their ire. Come, Father, this is important. Dorno the Elder said you might know something. What makes you think I would know anything? Wipes the sweat from his brow. Well, there was, no, never mind. What is it? Please, you can trust me. It was nothing of importance. Let me guess. Someone confessed something peculiar. Sighs. Forsooth. For sure you understand that I'd rather not share anything so intimate. Please, by the dragon, I beseech you, Father. Do not use his name in vain, child. I'll not disclose what was told to me in confidence. But there goes my final lead. It seems bloodshed is the only option left to me. Is there any other way you can continue the investigation? Believe me, if all it took to help this village was to break a single rule, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Well, test me. Give me some chore to do. A test, you say? Rubs his chin. I must admit, my kindlier feelings have been replaced by ill humor of late, and there is a reason for that. Nostra smirks. Nothing is free, eh, Brother Herkus? Information first and foremost. Hey, I'm not asking for anything. It is you who are offering to lend me a hand. I'm ready to help if you need anything. After a bit of contemplation, I suppose if thou wouldst show me some goodwill, I'd be more open to the idea, only for the sake of the village's well-being. Yes, sir, that's the goal. Very well. Pauses briefly. My plea concerns both my apprentice Danis and my daughter Agna, for it has become to my attention that the boy seeks her favor, and this simply won't do. Don't interrupt. For you see, I am planning for my daughter a union with a well-heeled member of the landed gentry, maybe one of the local aristocracy. You know, a respected pillar of the community, someone who would treat her right. You want me to talk to the lad? Yes. Should I make him disappear? By the dragon's imposing girdle, no. Why would I ask for something like that? Well, why don't you tell him to stop? I did just that. He assured me he intends no rascality. Even though he's given me no reason to doubt him, the dark bird of distrust has already built its nest in my soul. But what if he's in earnest? Indeed, I pray that he is. But please, put my mind at ease. I'll maybe give the gate guard a chance. You mean marry my daughter to young Dorno? Yon's an idea. But she's always pestering me about how much she hates this village. I worry Agna will be unhappy if she has to stay here. In any event, first we must ensure that my apprentice doesn't cause her any unnecessary heartache. Alright, got it. Danis works in the Tithe storehouse, here, on the temple grounds. Just talk to him, that's all I ask. I believe that with the right push, I'll understand why his advances are not wanted. Can I ask you a couple questions? Ask away, let the wellspring of knowledge flow. What are you doing here, aside from preaching? I'm gathering local folktales and myths. I know. Peasant stories and barbarian fables are hardly examples of fine literary tradition. But I hope the novelty of this subject will entice the educated elites of the free imperial cities. What can you tell me about this village? Our quaint little Clamreach. huddled up snugly against the rugged coastline. Smiles. Do not be fooled by its unassuming appearance, for within these shores lie tales as deep as the ocean itself. Legends of merfolk and sea monsters, whispered stories of hidden temples, and lost treasures buried beneath the sandy beaches. I'd love to hear such a tale. In the days of yore, when this land still belonged to the Slurium tribes, the locals would tell a legend about a cave temple, believed to hold a mysterious treasure that could resurrect the dead. A brave warrior, widowed by plague, and a cunning huntress who had lost her husband to war, set out together in search of the place. Long did they trek through the wilderness, till their path led them to a deep cavern. What did they find there? At its center stood an ancient altar, adorned with carvings depicting long-forgotten rituals, and upon it, nestled in a bed of shimmering crystals, sat a small, ornate box. As the heroes reached to open it, a bolt of lightning crackled through the air, striking them both. But a moment later, their lifeless bodies stirred and rose again, for the legend was true. The artifact had resurrected them, as foul undead. Do you have any rumors to share? About a fortnight ago, on a farmstead not far from the village, an extraordinary event occurred. A calf was born into this world with not one, not two, but 3 heads. Of course, the local peasantry immediately took it as a sign from the dragon. The only thing they cannot agree on, is it a good omen, or a harbinger of impending doom? I see. Let's move on to something else. The Waidelott looks at you expectantly. Say your goodbyes and walk away. Farewell. May thy journey be filled with fortuity and enlightenment. Father Herkus adjusts his robes and straightens his posture, trying to appear dignified. Greetings, child. Thou hast caught me in a moment of contemplation, pondering the mysteries of this world and the follies of mankind. Alright, well that should be everybody in the village that we've spoken to. So next time we can take care of the quest with Danis. And then head north and deal with the wolves and barbarians. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one.